I know Oregon doesn't have a lot of respect nationally, obviously, because they were in the Pac-12, and it's like, oh, you've played cupcakes. I think CFB Home, which is my buddy Shaler, ran a comparison to one of the schools that we mentioned, Florida, and Oregon had beaten more top 25 teams, played less FCS teams, been ranked more weeks, been ranked in the top 10 more weeks, but it's all about marketing. That's what college football has been about for years now. It's all about how you can market your conference and your team.
Mike, I'm going to show you some numbers that were compiled by our buddy here, Tony Altimore. He's a consultant and strategist who looked at fan bases. It may take me a minute here to find it. And he basically compiled how large fan bases are for every team in the country.
That New York Times project a few years ago was cool to see, where you could click anywhere on the map and see who the top 3 teams were.
See if I can find it.
That one's dated, but there were a couple spots in New York City you could click, and Oregon was there. Hey, Ryan, welcome back.
Look at that.
Internet out here, you know how it goes, man.
I figured your phone died. I said an hour worth of video chatting is done for.
No, I just all of a sudden it just froze on me, man. Internet.
SEC is over the Pac-12. No, duh. Nobody is arguing against you there, sir.
So can you guys see the screen here? I'm going to show you these numbers, and you guys tell me if you think they're accurate. So again, Ryan wasn't with us for a second there. Ryan, these are numbers put together by Tony Altimore. He's a strategist, consultant guy that we've had on here on the channel, and he's put together some numbers. I'll try to blow them up so you guys can see. So that is, these are amount of fans for each conference. So we got the SEC at 54 million, the Big Ten at close to 45, ACC 31, 32, with Notre Dame included. Pac-12, or yeah, well, this was before USC and UCLA left, so we're going to look at the individual teams here close. So I'm going to guess that's going to get cut by probably a third. Yeah, Big 12 at 11 and on down the line.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if we were still above the Big 12.
Oh, I think so. Still slightly. Okay, let's get to, that's average per team. Let's get to the Pac-12. This is what he has. So he's got, I'm lining this up without being able to see it on screen yet, so I might be way off. So he has, I'll blow it up a little more.
Good job, Oregon State. Woo, woo.
He's got Oregon ahead of everyone, followed by USC. There it is. So there you see the Big Ten obviously taking the top 4, according to Tony's research, the top 4 programs in the conference.
Arizona State needs to be divided in half because only half of them are sober.
Yeah, that it's interesting. I mean, I do think Oregon has itself a little footprint, and it has some popularity, and the proof's in the numbers.
The footprint has come because all the little league. You know how many little league Duck teams there are? Have built fans who never actually had any
one of them. Those are my favorite little league football teams.
Yeah, it's insane. It's fun. Ooh, Hayden loves you, Mark, or he just hates Oregon. One of the two.
Hayden loves me. We're going to take that. No, Hayden has never contributed like this, so he hates the Ducks, apparently. Before we get to you, Hayden, that my shot in the dark, and you guys both shot it down, was Stanford and Cal. I get it.
Yeah, that one was.
Wait a minute. Hang on. Endowments, academic endowments. Think about that kind of money that comes into the Big Ten. And the Big Ten is very academic minded. Keep that in mind. And one of the synergy points of the Big 10 and the Pac-12 for all these years has obviously been academic like-mindedness for the most part. And to grab that San Francisco, San Jose TV market, which I understand doesn't care about Cal and Stanford football, but when those matchups are suddenly Stanford, Ohio State, Stanford, Michigan, Stanford, Penn State, etc., And that Stanford football team and the program obviously cared at one point to get a Jim Harbaugh and to raise the level of play for what, 6, 7, 8, close to a decade. It's just a thought.
Yeah, but the endowments, the conference doesn't get to touch the endowment.
Well, exactly, but they're connected. There's some type of sharing of academic resources and connectedness there.
Yeah, but if the endowments mattered to the conferences, everyone would have been rushing to add. Obviously Stanford. They would have been excited to go get a Northwestern. They would be chomping at the bit for a Washington instead of going to get Oregon.
Okay. I was just filling in I just wanted to complete my proposal there.
That proposal is still wild, Mark.
Okay.
Well, I side with you a little bit more, Mark, on that. I do think that Cal and Stanford have a lot to bring to the table, especially Stanford. I do think that, you have to think big picture. You have a school out in the, Big Ten like Northwestern. Northwestern would love to have a team like Stanford in their conference. You look at the academic prowess that Washington threw in our face last year, and they named a bunch of those schools that weren't really good at football, but were really good at academics. And I know that both academically and athletic programs have to work together to build these schools. But, the Pac-12's statement today, all it said was, we hope for the best for academics and athletics amongst our member programs. Didn't really say much about the competition factor of the football programs versus the SEC programs. That's all about the football success. So at least they understand what the hell they're doing down there. Whereas still on the West Coast, it's about, academic integrity.
Well, so Stanford has one saving grace. Notre Dame likes Stanford. Notre Dame really likes Stanford. They like playing Stanford.
They're old school friends.
They're all homies. That's the old homie from the block. And they are that is the only way I could see a Stanford getting in there. But I don't think Notre Dame's gonna, place all of their eggs on we need Stanford to come with us.
No.
Sure.
No.
And you would
But
also have a USC, UCLA, Stanford, and Cal contingent there to play all of those games between each other. That would
exactly. It would be nice though to think about that. If you were able to add Notre Dame and you were able to add Stanford and you had Oregon and Washington, you have a nice little West division built in there with Nebraska, Iowa, whatever else, if you want to do divisions. But you're not going to do divisions. You're going to have a 20-team conference with no divisions. Again, we're just in chaos land. Again, from our perspective of understanding it from some sort of balance, we're out of balance completely. They're going to have an even number of teams, but it's not even come close to some sort of balance geographically. I mean,
it'll probably be 5.
Literally right now, coast to coast.
5-team pods, maybe.